Now, after concluding Brexit, the United Kingdom is looking to strengthen ties with old allies and partners and to reinvigorate the Commonwealth. In light of this, the United Kingdom signed a new trade deal with Kenya last month and has sought to increase partnerships across various other sectors such as health and security. The UK Foreign Secretary was in the country this week for high-level meetings with Kenya's president and senior government officials to put pen to paper on these deals, and he spoke with me on how Kenya is set to benefit from the new arrangement. Thank you, Mr. Dominic Raab, for speaking with us. We really appreciate your time here. Thank you for coming to Kenya. Is it your first time?
It's my first time.
Good. Karibu sana.
Asante.
There you go. All right, so let's get into it. You're here to do a number of things, including that trade deal. Let's talk about that. That was signed between Kenya and the United Kingdom last month. Could you tell us, a bit more detail of what that would mean for both our countries and for both citizens?
Well, look, thank you for having me on the show. Look, we're at a historic moment, certainly for the UK, but I think also for Kenya. We've left the European Union. We still are good friends and want to trade with them, but we're also looking with more energy and enthusiasm at all the other areas as part of our Global Britain strategy. Kenya is crucial to that. So you look at this free trade deal, and I would say it's a springboard, not a ceiling, for our ambition of trade. But what we want to do is be the investor of choice. Our businesses do business with integrity, and we're always looking for a two-way advantage that benefits the workers and the people of Kenya. So whether it's trade and goods, whether it's financial services, whether it's tech and scientific cooperation, of which, of course, one of the things we've learned from COVID is we're going to do more and more of, I think there's a real win-win here. So perhaps we're broadening our horizons, and we certainly see Kenya in the midst of that.
And speaking of COVID-19, we saw disruption of global supply chains. We saw suppressed demand for what are our traditional exports to countries like the UK, the horticultural products, fruit and vegetable, and tea as well. Is there a possibility in this trade deal to expand the catalogue to get, more goods coming out of Kenya, different types of goods from what we've traditionally traded over the years?
Well, look, from a consumer point of view in the United Kingdom, I think that's really exciting. We want to make sure there's as much choice, as much competition, because that benefits the average consumer doing their shops, whether it's for flowers or other goods that Kenya exports. And as I said, it's a springboard, it's the beginning of our ambitions. So there's a whole range of other things. But now that we've got this free trade deal, we can work on all of those, and I can see huge advantages for the exports that Kenyan businesses make, for the investments that we make here, which create jobs for the Kenyan people. And I think also in a time where there's lots of competing demands and interest in Kenya. I think with the Brits, if you like, that we want to do business with integrity. We respect workers' rights. We're here at an example of sustainable, environmentally friendly and responsible investments. That's what we're interested in, and that's what we bring to the table.
Let's talk about other areas of cooperation. Obviously, many of us excited about the work that's been happening around the COVID-19 vaccine that's been done between KEMRI and the Oxford University. Could you speak to us about the level of cooperation, the amount of investment that went into this cooperation with the vaccine?
Well, so obviously we've had researchers in both Oxford University and also other places in the UK working on this vaccine. We're delighted, as any country would be, to get the first rollout as well. So we've got some experience of the research and the science that goes behind it, but also the logistics. And in terms of Kenya, there's two things. First of all, through KEMRI and the collaboration that AstraZeneca and Oxford are doing, there's, I think, a great opportunity now to do the trials here in a way which is exciting for the Kenyan people, can get it rolled out and the needles in arms as soon as possible. Obviously, the precise timings are for the Kenyan authorities, but we want to empower and enable Kenya to participate in that. More generally, the UK has been at the vanguard, at the forefront of trying to make sure all countries around the world can have an equitable access to this vaccine. We all need it. We all need to work together. So through Gavi, which is the fund to raise money My Prime Minister chaired that. We raised $9 billion through COVAX, the AMC facility, which is trying to make sure lower and middle income countries get access. I think it's 75 billion shillings. I did the currency conversions to provide 1 billion doses, of which Kenya will benefit. So we see a moral interest in doing that, but we also see it as in our interest to take care of our friends around the world and indeed some of the more vulnerable countries.
And this goes just beyond the trials and the testing of the vaccine. But of course, many are concerned about distribution, the rollout program, storage, and in terms of building that capacity here as well.
So you're absolutely right, and the supply and the distribution, the logistics, we've been on that learning curve. We know what it's like. Of course, we want to support, and we're providing technical assistance to give the Kenyan authorities a sense of what's involved and the kind of lessons learned that we've already been through. Hopefully that means you'll be able to do it swiftly, efficiently, and to those who need it most. Beyond
this, we understand there's more cooperation, with our Ministry of Health. Do you want to talk to us about just the sort of work that's going into that?
We've got a long-standing history of collaborating on the eradication of all the diseases from HIV to Ebola, tuberculosis. I think both through the technical cooperation, the scientific cooperation, of which part of the United Kingdom's, if you like, global horizons is to do more of, not just in the trade sphere, but also in public health, I think is going to be very important. So I think that's an exciting area for the future, not just on COVID. We need to get ready for the next pandemic that we may face. And one thing we know from this pandemic is we've got to work together, and particularly with our closest friends and our most trusted friends. So that's one of the reasons I'm here.
Will the United Kingdom be rethinking aid to developing nations in light of the COVID-19 pandemic that has ravaged, economies around the world, including that of the United Kingdom? And if so, how will that affect Kenya?
So it's absolutely right. Look, we're not immune from it. We've had the biggest contraction in our economy for 300 years. Our budget deficit is double what it was after the financial crisis in 2008, 2009. So yes, we've had to look at that, but we're still spending £10 billion this year in aid. So of course we'll have to rejig our priorities. But what I can tell you is both because of the collaboration and the importance of the work we're doing together with Kenya on COVID, on public health, on climate change, but also because you're such a valued friend, a strategic partner in the region and the world, I think we're going to make sure that we safeguard the development assistance and the cooperation and the technical cooperation as well that we do with you.
All right, finally, Mr. Foreign Secretary, where do you see the world right now? Brexit, the final divorce, if you like, happened in December of 2020. We've seen increasing nationalism. We're just coming out of a Trump administration in the United States. And then all of this happening during a pandemic, when many have said that the increasing nationalism and looking inward probably hampered the world's global, collective response. Where do you see the world now when it comes to geopolitics and foreign diplomacy?
Well, we've got to come together. So you're right, we did the Brexit divorce, if you like, but actually what we did in December was the free trade deal. So we're saying to our European friends, and we've agreed, let's do a win-win free trade deal. Let's put our relationship on a positive footing. I think being outside the EU means also we can collaborate more intensively and energetically right around the world. In Africa, in East Africa with Kenya, but also in the Indo-Pacific region. I think amidst all the challenges we face, there are hugely exciting opportunities. So we don't enter 2021 quite as glum as we entered the end of 2020, and I think we've got to manage down those risks. We've got to get through this pandemic, but there are exciting opportunities, and I'm really excited about working with our Kenyan friends even more closely this year.
Where do you see the world right now? How do we move forward? There's obviously been shake-ups around the world.
We've got to come together. We've got to come together on coronavirus. We're hosting the climate change talks in November in Glasgow. I commend what Kenya has done and your president at the recent Climate Action Summit. These are global challenges. They need global solutions. And if the UK, and with Kenya, but also with our other partners and with the new Biden administration, can help bring countries together, I think, yes, we'll be in a better place to take on those challenges, but also maybe to look a bit more on the upside and look at the opportunities that undoubtedly also lie ahead.